Start with pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with justice. Sam. First meeting.
Yes.
She came back yesterday. So.
We were to Shenzhen. I was back in Rush. Look at.
But if people have reservations about it, I'm happy to hear that too. You gotta make it as a decision.
But we want to show
They change constantly.
the commitment that we would approve this aspect of the project. But I'm not gonna fight the bill. I'm not gonna take this property over and then fight the village for everything that we want to put in there. Because that happened before, and now we're having again.
Let's see what happens. So,
Okay, Tim's back in. Victoria, please call the roll.
Albert.
Here.
Day.
Here.
Gorecki.
Here.
Bono.
Here.
Mendel.
Here.
And Davenport.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Minutes for the August 26th, Brian. Any corrections?
Yeah.
All right, the motion to accept. And Tim, thank you. Second, Frank. For you too. Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. Carries. The financials are there. I don't think we've changed about this. So,
Did I see the endeavor in an opinion on the expenses of the properties? Did it ever, the expenses of those particular properties being recorded under the LDC rather than the IDA? Did they ever get anyone to?
I did have a meeting with our CPA and she recommended that we have a conversation with the legal team. So I've reached out to Chuck and Hutch and Brett to see how best to structure that. So it's really up to the board and the IDA to determine what the structure of that will be. So do we do one blanket type agreement where there's a set dollar amount? Or do we do a separate agreement for each project? So we are going to be working with Chuck on figuring out the best way to structure that. And as soon as I have one.
The administration agreement?
Yeah.
Is what you're
So
talking.
currently we have one in place just for the Masonic building, as you know. So we need to look to the next step for these additional.
And I get the administration part of it. I was wondering like the maintenance, the actual overhead of the property. Because I think, and I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly. I just remember that the IDA was looking some expenses of those properties on our financials. For the budgetary standpoint.
They are a liability due back to the IDA. So any funds that are spent for the Masonic or any future projects, they are due back to the IDA. So they're set up on the.
So that's
books
going to
be
accrue
paid
as
back
due to.
Yes.
Okay, that's the same, okay, yes, same thing.
change, any discussion? Further? Need a motion to accept the financials. Corey, Tim, discussion? All in favor, aye. Opposed, nay. Carried. Go to school.
So 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we had the developer in there with its architect, its engineering firm, a whole host of people. They're moving ahead with the design and everything. We're just waiting on the village to sign the final documents to turn it over to us. Sometimes this month, I will have a projected number on what we've spent on the site to date, so we can work out a price to charge the people who will be taking over Bill's school. And then we do have a UTEP in place for housing, and so we'll be utilizing that for a pilot for this building as well. But that'll happen sometime in October. It's taken a little longer than we thought. Article 19B was good. You know, we didn't have to go eminent domain, which nobody likes to hear those two words. And I think it'll make it a nice property when it's all said and done. Charlestown, on the other hand, has a little bit of hair on it. So there's some chlorinated solvents, which are kind of the worst thing that you can have in the ground at any site. So that was used in cleaning materials. They're concentrated in two areas. It can be worked on. That's one of the reasons we had a meeting with the DEC and the EPA on getting some additional funding to do more investigations and cleaning up. Right now, we believe they're both pooled in the rock below, and they're not migrating anywhere. We haven't found any off-site or anywhere else on the property. So once we do some additional investigations, we'll be able to tell exactly where it is and then work up a cleanup program. If we get the brownfield cleanup program, those tax incentives we could sell. We do have people very much interested in the property, but they want to know more about these solvent areas. There's metals all over, but that's not a big deal. That happens everywhere in upstate New York. It's on municipal water, so that's a plus too. The only thing is how do you get those chlorinated solvents up? There's several different ways. $1 million, $5 million. We haven't even talked to the EPA yet about their investing in the cost of the cleanup, just to do the investigation. So we'll have more as we progress with this. We still think it's a great viable site. All the infrastructure's there. There's 185 megawatts of power right there at the site, right on the border. We think we can clean it up. We got an extension on due diligence with the current owner for a year. We have the MOU in place for the waiving of the $14 million lien. When we took the DEC there, Patrick Foster, he said, we will find a way to help you with this site. So we feel very good.
So how big is that area with the stone and something?
The entire property that we would have is about 9 acres.
Okay, how about specific with the stone area, the gravel, the solvents and out?
The solvents are in smaller areas. Probably both of them are under about the size of this room, but they're deep and they haven't. So you have to be careful when you drill, because if you drill where we found them, we had to kind of like stop drilling, because if you continue on and crack the surface below, it'll just go and then if that happens, that isn't good at all. So we're just trying to figure out where. We'll probably have to use some cameras down in there and do some other things, testing. Probably another $150,000. We don't want to pay that. We want to get some grants to do that, and I believe we will get the money from either the EPA or the DEC to do the further investigation. So, but I mean, if we just turn that back over to the current guy, Kinsella, he'll be under a DEC order to clean it up. He'll say he doesn't have the money. DEC will go in and clean it up, and then it'll put another lien on the property. We do it this correctly, or we get someone that comes into the property that wants to buy it, say for a data or AI center, something along those lines. They might want to take that risk of taking that and cleaning that up, putting it towards the brownfield cleanup program, and really making themselves move ahead quicker with the site because the power is already there.
Well, as far as updates, I think those were the updates.
So yeah, the last one is chips. Not that we own that or anything, but this is the most bizarre thing. Egan, who did the cleanup of the tanks, is refusing. The DEC asks them like every week for an updated bill because they say they had some more fees that they wanted to add. DEC's not arguing that. The controller's office, they won't just give them the final bill, or else it'd be already over into the county's hands. The county would turn it over to the town of Frankfurt. We could be moving on with this project. It's the most bizarre thing. I reached out to Egan saying, come on, HRP has reached out to them. They're out of Rome. Everybody's trying to get a hold of this. Send them the final bill so we can move along.
What's the feedback? Are they just sponsored?
Yeah, they're just saying, we're working on it. We're working on it. But it's been since July or maybe even June when they tore up the tanks. June, I think it was. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous because we'd like to get that turned over. You know, then we can start working with that. There are different grants because it's going to be the bike path parking and along the canal that the town could apply for and really make that an excellent site. So that's it.
No need for executive session.
Nope.
Next meeting for both the groups is October 28th. And on your calendar. All right, motion adjourned. Tim, Lori, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, right?
Right.
Very good. You have a good.
Last night, you can go, Mark.
day.